You're playing hide and seek with your younger brother or cousin, and suddenly, in the blink of an eye, they vanish. Without a trace, without a sound. This is exactly what happened to 6-year-old Dennis Martin, who disappeared without a trace in the vast and unforgiving Smoky Mountains. The fear of losing a child is every parent's worst nightmare, but the horror of a child vanishing into thin air is truly unimaginable. National parks are often seen as serene and beautiful escapes from the hustle and bustle of everyday life. However, they also hold secrets and mysteries that can be both fascinating and chilling. Among these mysteries and the numerous disappearances that have occurred over the years, leaving families and investigators searching for answers. One of the most perplexing and heart-wrenching cases is that of Dennis Martin. In June of 1969, 6-year-old Dennis Martin completely disappeared from Earth in the Great Smoky Mountains National Park when camping with his family. Even with extensive search efforts and numerous theories, his fate remains unknown to this day. Dennis Martin's disappearance stands out not only because of the massive search operation that followed, but also due to the various theories and speculations that have emerged over the years. From the potential animal attacks to abduction theories, the case of Dennis Martin continues to intrigue and baffle those who hear about it. Dennis Floyd Martin was a very bright and energetic kid who loved playing outdoors and being your ordinary young and innocent kid. In June of 1969, Dennis went on a camping trip with his father, Bill Martin, his grandfather, Clyde Martin, and his older brother, Douglas Martin. The family planned to spend Father's Day weekend together in the Great Smoky Mountains National Park, a tradition they cherished. The Martins were an adventurous family, and they chose the Spence Field area for their camping trip. Spence Field is a beautiful and popular spot in the Great Smoky Mountains, known for its open meadows and stunning views. It is located near the Appalachian Trail, making it a favorite destination for hikers and campers. On June 14th of their camping trip, the family set up camp and enjoyed the serene environment. The boys were excited to explore the area and play games. That afternoon, Dennis, Douglas, and some other children decided to play hide and seek. Dennis chose a spot behind a bush, just a few feet away from his father and grandfather, who were watching the children play. Bill Martin kept a close eye on the children, but in a matter of moments, Dennis vanished from their sight for only a few seconds. When Bill went to check on him, Dennis was nowhere to be found. The family immediately began searching the area, calling out his name and looking behind every tree and bush. Despite their frantic efforts, there was no sign of Dennis. The immediate reaction of the Martin family was one of panic and urgency. Bill, realizing the gravity of the situation, quickly alerted his father and the other campers. They began a frantic search of the surrounding area, calling out Dennis's name and looking behind every tree and bush. Despite their desperate efforts, there was no sign of Dennis. Within minutes, Bill decided to seek help from the park rangers. He ran to the nearest ranger station and reported his son's disappearance. The park rangers responded in immediate urgency, initiating a search operation that would soon become one of the largest in the park's history. As the initial search efforts began, the rangers and volunteers combed the area around Spence Field. They used whistles and searched every possible hiding spot. The thick forest and rocky area made the search even slower and challenging, but the searchers remained hopeful that Dennis would be found quickly. The search for Dennis quickly escalated into one of the largest and most intensive operations in the history of the Great Smoky Mountains National Park. The search quickly began to gain attention as it rapidly expanded to include over 1,400 searchers. This massive effort involved park rangers, volunteers, and specialized units such as the National Guard and Special Forces. These elite units brought in helicopters for aerial searches and bloodhounds to track any possible scent trails, significantly boosting the resources available for the search. Despite the extensive manpower and advanced equipment, the search faced many challenges. Along with the dense forest and rough terrain, as mentioned earlier, there was also heavy rain during the search period, which further complicated efforts by washing away potential clues and scent trails. Searchers worked tirelessly, raking through approximately 56 square miles through this already hard-to-get-through terrain, using whistles and calling out Dennis's name in hopes of finding any sign, any clue as to his whereabouts. Throughout the operation, a few potential clues were discovered, such as a set of child-sized footprints near a stream. Hopes would rise in all of the searchers, especially the Martin family. Sadly, these clues led to dead ends. Despite the relentless efforts and the sheer scale of the search, no trace of Dennis was ever found, leaving searchers and the Martin family with nothing more than worry and doubt as to whether Dennis was safe. The disappearance of this poor 6-year-old had puzzled investigators and the public for over 5 decades. Despite massive search efforts and numerous leads, no definitive evidence had ever been found to explain what happened to the young boy. Over the years, several theories have emerged, each attempting to shed light on this enduring mystery. From the possibility of a wild animal attack to the unsettling idea of abduction, and the more plausible scenario of getting lost and succumbing to the elements. Each theory offers a different perspective on what might have happened that fateful day in the Great Smoky Mountains. One of the very prominent theories suggests that Dennis may have been attacked by a wild animal, such as a bear or a feral pig. The Great Smoky Mountains are home to a variety of wildlife, including black bears, which are known to inhabit the area where Dennis vanished. Some believe that a bear attacked Dennis and carried him away, where you-know-what would have happened. There is no such evidence of such an attack, as there was no blood or torn clothing ever being found. But with the high and intense rain and winds, any evidence would have been visible for a few weeks. Additionally, experts agree with the idea that this theory is non-conclusional, as there were no signs of a struggle. Another theory involved the possibility of abduction. During the search, a family reported seeing a strange man in the area around the time Dennis had gone missing. They also heard a scream and saw a man running through the woods. This led to speculation that Dennis might have been kidnapped by this suspicious figure. Despite these reports, no concrete evidence of abduction was ever found. The man was never identified, and no witnesses came forward with additional information. For all we know, this could have been the abductor of Dennis, and he could have just slipped right through the searchers' hands. With the area where the abduction would have happened, it is hard to say whether it would have made it easier or harder for the kidnapper. I say this because the heavy rain and coverage of the growth of nature would certainly make it harder to spot someone. However, this can also go against anyone attempting to steal something or someone, as escaping the scene would be troubling. Screams would have been heard, or at least a struggle found, but to no avail. Nothing further on this theory was set in stone. Given the harsh conditions of the Great Smoky Mountains, it's possible that Dennis simply got lost and succumbed to the elements. The thick brush around the forest and scabrous paths can be disorienting, especially for a young child. If Dennis wandered off the trail, he could have quickly become lost and unable to find his way back. Exposure to the elements, including cold temperatures and rain, could have led to hypothermia or other fatal conditions. Park officials have stated that this is the most likely scenario, as I have stated earlier that there are no signs of struggle, and there was a set of child-sized footprints in the mud close to a stream that was within the proximity of the search area. The disappearance of Dennis Martin remains one of the most perplexing cases in U.S. national parks. Thousands of searches were conducted over the 5 decades, which included the National Guard and Special Forces. Yet in the end, all they were able to find was a set of footprints left behind by little feet, and yet this ended cold. Theories were created, as they often will, with people disappearing, and had nothing to prove when no real evidence was ever recorded. With Dennis disappearing during their camping trip, it left a profound impact on his family and the broader community. The family, heartbroken, raised awareness about the potential dangers of the wilderness and the importance of safety measures when visiting national parks. It serves as a somber reminder of how quickly a joyful family outing can turn into a tragic and enduring mystery. Dennis Martin vanishing has puzzled investigators and the public for over 5 decades. Despite the massive search efforts and various theories proposed, no definitive evidence has ever been found to this day that could explain what happened to Dennis on that fateful day in the Great Smoky Mountains. Theories of animal attacks, abduction, and getting lost and slowly succumbing to the elements each offer possible explanations, but none provide a conclusive answer. This case reminds us of the unpredictable and sometimes perilous nature of the outdoors and how it can take away our loved ones in the blink of an eye. Although there is beauty in most things in the world, the shadows of the vanished whisper to us. I thank you for watching this video and hope you stay safe.